have now. No, nothing can move you.
Well, good afternoon. It is Sunday, August the 8th, 2020, 1:49 p.m. And I had something in my heart I want to talk about. And I'm going to try to not to be excited. I don't want to ever be judgmental. I don't ever want to point the blame, especially when you're pointing at the wrong people. I'm going to give you my own opinions. These are not attacks against each other. But it is my heart-to-heart talk to understand something that's very important. Let me see if I can pull this up, because we're going to start at a quote. One of the most powerful quotes in U.S. history. I'm going to bring it right here. I'm going to leave that right here. It's a quote by Frederick Douglass. Now, it's not Bible. Frederick Douglass wasn't always right. Martin Luther King wasn't always right. George Washington wasn't always wrong. My whole point is, everybody has the ability to not be perfect, including me, including you who's listening to this. Well, let's read this quote, because this is one of the most powerful quotes I ever heard in my entire life. If there is no struggle, there is no progress. And that's true. If everything is great, everything is good, why would you need to progress? If everything is good for you, why would you need to progress? You got it good. You're great. You're fine. You live in a good life. And you might not want to worry about progressing from there, because you have no struggles. Yet you may see people around you who are struggling, and you want to see them progress. And that's just you having a great heart. The quickest way to help them progress is taking what you have and allowing them to taste a little bit. But again, if you're not struggling, don't talk to me about progress. I'm cool. Talk to me about something else that might excite my mind and interest me. Other than that, I'm cool. Those who profess to favor freedom and yet deprecate agitation are men who want crops without plowing up the ground. Are men who want crops without plowing the ground. Let me repeat that again. This is so powerful. Those who profess to favor freedom and yet deprecates agitation are men who want crops without plowing on the field. In other words, you want freedom, but you don't want to go through the process of freedom. Freedom is not beautiful. Freedom is not kind. Freedom is not sweet. Freedom is not timid. A lot of times, freedom can be very aggressive. Sometimes it's going to take brute force to get it. It's going to be ugly sometimes. There's going to be a lot of heat on your behind. It may cause some blood to spill. It may cause people to die for freedom. You can't just say, hey, can I have some freedom? And they're just going to give it to them. Give it to you. You got to take it. And you got to take it by any means necessary sometimes. And you can't let your emotions get in the way. And we all are emotional people. We all can hurt and struggle and go through pain and things like that, especially when there's somebody close to us or somebody who we became close with. I'm reminded of a scripture in the Bible when Jesus went back to his hometown of Nazareth. Jesus could not work any miracles. All over the place, he could do his thing because people believed that he was the Mahdi, he was the Messiah. He was the chosen one. He was coming to save them. People believed him outside because they never knew Jesus outside of that. See, in his hometown, they just know Jay. Oh, Jay done left us and he coming on. He famous now. He coming home. Let me go down here and see what Jay talking about. He probably, man, get ain't talking about he healing people. Jay, you talking about little Jay around the block, apartment 32 in the projects? Jay, come on, man. Let's go see what he gonna do. Jesus could not perform any miracles. He'd go to his hometown to see the people that he loved hurting and in pain, and he could not do any miracles. He could not heal nobody there because they were too familiar with him. Familiarity hurts more than helps. Familiarity can at some time paralyze you. You know, somebody is weak in the area and you want to see them strengthen in this area, and you got to struggle how to communicate that with them without offending them. You got a drunk uncle and you don't want to see him drink because you know you trying your best to get him some help, but you don't know how to do it. You don't want to offend them. You don't want to tick them off. You don't want them to throw you away. You want to keep them in your lives. You don't want to lose them, but yet you don't want them to die either if you got a loved one on drugs. They could not get anything they could not demand nothing from Jay because they were too familiar with Jay. And look, Jesus had everything according to scripture, because I know some of you people don't believe. Jesus had everything that the people of Nazareth need at that time. A lot of sick and afflicted. A lot of people had leprosy, and and that was ravaging. You wanted, somebody try to come near you with leprosy, boy, you be ready to kill them because they touch you, you gonna catch it too. That was worse than coronavirus. And you bubbling all up, and your whole body turning into bumps. And according to scripture, Jesus was going around healing people. A lot of people couldn't heal them because they can't believe little Jay got the power to do that. Always remember this: familiarity kills the anointing or kills special power. And the main special power is your ability to connect to the anointing to receive from it. Let me continue this. They want the ocean without the awful roar of its many waters. They want the ocean without the awful roar of the many waters. This struggle may be a moral one, or it may be a physical one, and it may be both moral and physical, but it must be a struggle. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did, and it never will. We're going to talk about the Nina Turner election blame game because there's a lot of blame going on. And a lot of people who's getting mad and upset and frustrated and losing it, you want to blame the electorate, or you want to blame media heads. And let me tell you something, some of these media heads deserve the blame. Some of them are pretty much centric Democrats, media heads, and they don't like the fact that Nina Turner would not go out like Bernie Sanders and just kiss butt. Now, let me tell you this, my platform, I will not ever use my platform to tell you go out and vote for somebody. Now, if you choose to do that, that's your prerogative. I love you. That's you. Ain't got nothing to do with me. My platform is to push the issues, and whoever comes on my platform and discuss the issues and talk about how they're going to push the needs of your community, they can come on here and do it. Now, I'm not that big, but they can come on here and do it. I got a lot of progressives that watch this show. I got a lot of people from the Black Grassroots Movement watch the show. I got some Republicans watch this show. I got some people that's not even in this country that watch this show. So most of this stuff won't affect them, but they can tell us what it's like in their country with some of these issues. Let me get myself up here. Now, they say there's a lot of infighting in the left. I believe majority of the left is not fighting. I believe Democratic left are mad at the left. I believe Democratic lefties are mad at non-affiliated lefties or Green Party lefties or people who migrated over to the People's Party lefties. The Democrat left is mad at them because of the position they're in right now. See, a lot of people, a lot of Democrats after 2016, if you don't mind, let me put my headphones. I like to monitor myself, make sure I hear myself. Okay. A lot of people after 2016, people who fell in love with a man more than a platform. Familiarity kills the anointing. It's just like Black conservative blacks are with Joe Biden. Regardless of his horrible past, they've given him a pass because Obama came in and put them side by side. And they figured since Obama is our black savior, our black leader, so if Joe Biden was good enough for Obama, he's good enough for me. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? That man had been single-handedly involved in creating some of the most brutal legislation to attack the black community, and black communities giving this man a pass. Look, you can vote for him, you ain't got to give him no pass. So like I said, my platform will not tell you who to vote for. I ain't gonna tell you who to vote for. It's none of your doggone business. But Rob, if you tell and you're an influence, everybody might follow you. That's the problem. People need to stop following people into the freaking booth and learn about their politicians themselves, number one. Number two, get hands-on with that politician. Number three, get in the face of that politician. And it's okay for you to say, look, you got to earn my vote. I'm not going to automatically give it to you. I don't care who you're running against. What you got on my 40, homie? What are you going to do for my community? When the last time you spent time with my community? How much time have you spent with my community? Because you do realize my community is going to be the one that's going to get out and get the vote for you. So are their issues on the front burner? If majority of them going to get down there and vote for you, are their issues on the front burner, or conservative issues on the front burner, or progressive issues on the front burner, or conservative Democrat? Let me calm down. The biggest problem that's going on in the left is some lefties want to still hold on to parties, when lefties need to detach themselves from party and become a block and make parties come to them. And that's what I say about the black community. The reason the black community have nothing is because they have no way of making a demand and showing their ability to harm a political party or political opponent or political candidate if they don't honor their demands. This is how it's supposed to go. Here's our program. Here's our platform. This is what we want to happen in this community. It's in the majority. This is a need in the community. And if you want our votes, because you got to understand that it's not going to be the Latinos going to get you, not in this district. See, Jamal Bowman knew a little bit about that. I mean, I can't give Jamal like he's, like he's going to, it don't go that way. Heat on Jamal Bowman. Jamal Bowman knew where most of his votes going to come from. Majority black in Yonkers, majority black in Mount Vernon, majority black in the Bronx, and some Latinos, and some Russians, and some Aryans, and some white liberals, but mostly black in Yonkers, Mount Vernon, New Rochelle, the Bronx. He knew that. So Jamal Bowman came down there and talked that talk of the community. He didn't have Bernie Sanders and try to get out all of your local troops to come out there and help him win, even though they were ready to help him win, even though AOC. See, when you need to win a certain demographic, that's when you bring certain people on board and you go out to that certain demographic. You don't bring them on board to go out to another demographic. That ain't gonna help. Much respect to Danny Glover and Cornel West and stuff like that. Majority of black people are not gonna be moved just because you got these, celebrities and these intellectuals on your platform saying vote for this person. They're not gonna do it. That might help with the white liberals or the white progressives. It's not going to help with the black community. Now, let me pull something up because it's very important to be factual on some things. Bear with me. Jacobin, in their article 3 days ago, said Nina Turner showed that a left candidate can win black voters. It should. Nina Turner should be able to win black voters whether she's left or not. This article is not, the title is not helping her. Now, if Nina Turner was a white woman, then then this title would mean something. Nina Turner showed that the left candidate can win black vote workers. The whole point is Nina Turner is a black candidate, and she's a black left candidate. That alone should be enough to win black workers, but sometimes it's not, because you got to promise the black workforce and the people who probably struggling how their needs are going to be on the front burner of them. How do you do that? Again, you yourself go to the black community and spend more time with them than you have done with your family members for the past five years. Now understand, with the money that was thrown in this campaign at the last minute, because people talk about the polls had her at 30. Hey, the polls had Hillary Clinton up. And all of a sudden it came and cut down her lead. I don't trust polls myself. Honestly, polls can be a distraction. My mama said, when you winning, you better fight like you losing. And I don't doubt Miss Turner wasn't doing that. But when you know that you're supposed to be commanding the majority of the black vote, you got to continue to go down there and reinforce that black vote by spending quality time, holding community meetings, going to the schools, talking to the parents and teachers, and I don't know if she did all this stuff now, but this is for anybody running for office. I'm telling you, and I don't have to be a person that ran for office. And look, I got family members in Columbus, Ohio. I got family members all over Ohio. And then I tapped into them to get their thoughts on their race. Man, they said at the last minute they was flooding the TV with campaign ads, smearing Nina Turner. And at first I was upset, but then I thought about it. That's called campaigning. That's what dirty politicians do. They get money from all sources, and they throw these money into ads and billboards and, and you name it, car stickers, you name it. And the whole job for that is to trash the candidate that you're going against and uplift the candidate that you're for. So that I couldn't be mad. I can't be mad because James Clyburn and all these numbnuts in D.C. came out here to stop Nina Turner. I did a video called the Stop Nina Turner Movement, just like the Stop Bernie Sanders Movement. White conservative capitalists do not like these types of politicians. And it's a given fact. They don't. Now, these type of politicians, they cannot like those type of politicians. The socialist, democratic socialist, they may not like the capitalist politicians, but they are open to work with them to get some moderate things done and hoping you get some left things done. Now, Nina Turner showed that the left candidate can win black voters. She should win black voters just for the simple fact she's black and she care about the needs of black people. That alone should win black voters. It has nothing to do with being a left or right candidate. You can be on the left, you can be on the right, you can be right smack in the middle. If you show that you really love, care, and concern, and you're always in their face, especially when you're from Ohio, you always down in the community, bigging them up and fighting for them and doing whatever you can to bring whatever financial help, their food help, and your face is plastered all over the place, showing yourself as a leader in that community, they will overwhelmingly vote you in. Now, look, this is Nina's first race here. This race ain't over because Shontel Brown got to go against a Republican candidate who happens to be black too. Just because she won don't mean that she gonna have that position. This is a primary. She could lose. Now, the chance of her losing will be very high because even the Nina Turner black support is going to go for her. And they're going to be expecting Nina Turner to campaign for her. And knowing Nina Turner probably ain't going to have a campaign for her. She ain't going to come in. Well, I'm going to campaign for this person. See, that's that Bernie mistake. You sit here and talk about Hillary Clinton like a dog, yet you go and campaign for her. 46 events, I believe. As a black woman and as a black man myself, I can't go campaign for a woman who gave herself a $700 raise. Or is it $7,000 raise? And the people of Ohio can't get $15 minimum wage. I can't. Nina Turner primary loss this week stings. So obviously this article, Matt Karp, is biased. And hey, most of us are biased. Look, let me tell you something. I would rather have Nina Turner in that position than Shontel Brown, because Shontel Brown admits I'm kissing Joe Biden's and Kamala Harris behind on everything. You ain't got to pull me or yank me or threaten me or no, you ain't got to do none of that. I don't know. Bend over, toot your butt up sky high, face down, butt up, and I'm up. I got you, Joe Biden. I got you, Kamala. I got you, Nancy Pelosi. I want to be one of the youngest power hungry, money grabbing people in the CBC. Nina Turner wasn't going to be doing that. Man, I'm not seeing Nina Turner being a landmark of the CBC. My issue with Nina Turner is only that it's all about the progressive movement and everybody trying to lump black issues in with progressive issues is not the same. And she admit that it's not the same. But a close look at the numbers make clear her loss wasn't a result of a bold left-wing candidate being unable to win over black voters. On the contrary, in the black working class district, Turner performed well. This is not a shock, Jacobin. If Nina Turner can't do well, being a former state senator, being on the national trail, getting national popularity, which doesn't mean you're going to get popularity locally. But because she's a national name, she should have been able to walk away with that race. Then big money came in because she was about to walk away with the race. And the fact of dealing with a Nina Turner who called Joe Biden a bowl of crap, which is true. That analogy between Trump and Biden is true. Both of them a bowl of crap. Either I eat the half a bowl for Joe Biden or I eat the whole bowl. Either way, I don't want to eat this stuff. And you know something? Nina Turner probably would go ahead and eat it just to stop Trump. I ain't eating neither one of these racist bigots, pathological line with rape allegations. I'm not doing that. I denied them both votes. Now, I did vote, but I denied both of these people my vote because I'm not going to be responsible for giving any of these people power. When they start willing their power, then I will be responsible. It's not the person who did not vote for the other candidate responsibility for what happened. It's the person who actually voted for the candidate and put them in power that's responsible for what happened. You can never stop blaming the voters. Stop blaming the voters because they didn't catch the vision of Nina Turner. Stop blaming because y'all people was doing that when it came to Bernie. You're calling black people stupid and all that. Y'all done lost y'all mind and things like that. You don't understand the underlying foundations of why black people vote this way, and how that's a habit. It's an addiction. It's something that has to be broken off. And the way you break that off is putting their issues first and front. Especially when you're running a race in an area where it's going to be 80 to 90% of black people that's going to get out to vote for you and nobody else. So when it's 80 and 90% of black people getting the vote out for you, you have to put their issues on the front burner and progressive issues on the back burner. And you can't bring out all these progressive giants to help you win that race if black people going to do. What you got to do is get out the giants in the community. See, Bernie Sanders didn't help her get that close to the race. Cornel West didn't help her get that close. She was supposed to run away with this race. And when it got neck and neck, that's when she brought out those people. Now, I'm not saying, me personally, if I know majority of my people are black, I'm not bringing out Bernie Sanders. I'm not bringing out Cornel West. I'm not bringing out, I definitely ain't have no Bakari sellout nowhere near me. I'm bringing out the giants in that community. I won't even bring out the white mayor unless the white mayor was overwhelmingly voted in by that black community. I'm looking for the people who the black community loves and bring them out. And that's what Chantel did with Marsha Fudge's mother. Because those people, I don't know why, they love them some Marsha Fudge. Now, you can go to Ballotpedia and start looking at the trafficking of what Marsha Fudge have done for her community. And you'll see why a lot of people continue to vote for them. It say, on the contrary, in black working class district, Turner performed well. She's supposed to. You don't have a white candidate versus a black candidate. You have two black candidates. One of them supposed to be doing well. She was doing super well according to the polls. For those who trust polls, she was doing super well until James Clyburn, Hillary Clinton, and all the usual suspects start coming out. And then they drafted up the campaign of, I'm here to help Joe Biden and Kamala Harris mission of not doing a doggone thing for you. She ain't gonna say that, but they're on a mission to help you. No, they're not. That's a lie. And then she gonna get on Nina. Then her campaign is, she's not trying to help you when she is trying to help. She's trying to help. She's trying to help you more than she is. That's what I'm saying. Send up a line that she's not a $15 minimum wage. All these crazy ads coming from God nowhere. Now, according to this in red, our new issue, The Working Class, is out in print and online, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so the article saying, in so many ways, this week's special Democratic primary in Ohio felt like a bittersweet recurrence of the Bernie Sanders campaign. The left candidate, Nina Turner, gained national promises. Guys, can I tell you, the Bernie Sanders campaign was a burn to me. I said I would never tell nobody who I'll support. I'll support them on my own. It's none of your business who I support, but if you want, like I said, if you want to tell people who you're supporting, that's fine. That's a good way to get people attracted to that person. That's not me. It's not me. Going forward, I'm going back to the time when I didn't tell people who I supported. I voted, and it's none of your business why I want. It's none of your business who I voted for, because some of you people may not handle it. Now, let me say this. I never, ever voted for Trump. Never, ever, never will. Never, ever voted for Hillary Clinton. She's a crook who was the P.T. Barnum Bailey against my people in the 90s. Yeah, that saxophone playing on Arsenio Hall was nothing but incantation or whatever they want to call it, a spell to have you in love with Bill Clinton. Yet behind the back, he's working deals with Republicans to crush you. The left candidate Nina Turner gained a national promises as Bernie's most compelling surrogate. In the closing week of the race, former Sanders ally from Alexander Cortez to Cornel West gathered in Cleveland to boost her campaign. Now, understand this. Her campaign was boosted before they came. Nina did not need Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez or Cornel West to come, but she thought that, hey, since I'm neck and neck, I need to pull out the big guns and have these people come out for me. You were doing great without them. You actually think you bring them out, it's going to cause you to get the lead? You were doing great without them. And I honestly believe, and this is my own opinion, I believe honestly that when you bring out, when it's majority of the black community that's going to get out and vote for you, this whole article is about the black working class. If you come out, if you want to try to reel in the black working class vote to lean more towards your favor than Shontel Brown, you got to get out some guns. Shontel Brown didn't get Joe Biden to come out therefore, even though it probably would have worked a little bit because we got those old school Democrats, 45 and up, that's vote that way. But I'm quite sure she would have got some black people from the Black Caucus to come out there. Bringing a Latino out to the event may get you some Latino votes, but it's not going to get you more black votes. Bringing Cornel West may get you some black votes, but a lot of black people, and look, Cornel West is a very smart, intellectual, powerful black man, one of the most in the country. And I don't agree with him on a lot and everything, but there's a lot of things I do agree with Cornel West on. But when you parade a black man who's more of an intellectual, Harvard and here and there, and that's one of the most phenomenal speakers, that's not going to help you gain black vote either. West gathered in Cleveland to boost her campaign. Now, if you're going to those white middle, I wouldn't say white middle class, but if you're going to those white areas or those progressive areas, then you bring out those people. If you want to boost up that progressive vote in Ohio, in those districts or in those precincts or in those wards, when you want to boost up that demographic of progressives, those who are part of the Bernie Sanders movement, you want to get them out to vote, you bring out Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, you bring out Cornel West, you bring out the so-called squad, whatever. You bring out the Danny Glovers. Even Danny Glover is not going to be enough to bring out the black vote. See, what the black community in that area wants is they want to have somebody within their community that really go to bat for you. Somebody on a Marshall Fudge level. Because when Marshall Fudge run those elections, she wins overwhelmingly. These people get out to vote for Marshall Fudge. Now, according to this, it say Turner's opponent, Shontel Brown, was endorsed by Hillary Clinton. See, once that happened, I wouldn't have voted for her in the first place, let alone the ethics situations that she got and giving herself a $7,000 raise while the people in her community can't get a freaking raise, while she'll vote against $15 minimum wage because Joe Biden said, I won't vote for a $15 minimum wage. You know, whatever Joe Biden tell them say, she gonna say. James Clyburn came out there to, see, these are Marshall Fudge friends. It was Marshall Fudge friends that came out. And these people trust Marshall Fudge. I don't know why in the fudge they trust Marsha Fudge, but they got a long relationship with Marsha Fudge. Just like the people of South Carolina, they got that long, weird Ike, Tina, Nina Turner relationship with James Clyburn. They're stuck. They're in a quagmire. They in a rut. They don't know how to get out of that. And the only way you're going to break somebody from that is you got to run as a populist. You got to run as an aggressor. You got to run, you got to embrace that side and not get away from that side. They can call me whatever they want. I'm here for you. See, FDR said that. I welcome your hate. You can call, I don't care what you call. These people, I'm here for these people. You can say, no, I'm not a real Democrat. You can say I'm a Republican undercover. You can call me undercover. You can call me whatever you want. I'm here to serve these people. I'm concerned about these people. I'm not concerned about Joe Biden. Now, if these people tell me to support Joe Biden, that's a different story because I represent these people here. But I'm here for them, not you. She's to me running as an all-out opposition to the entire mentality of the Democratic Party. Being a populist, saying I'm running for Democrats, I'm running for Republicans. This tired of partyism. I'm running for people. And like I said, you have to be kind of strategic. If you know majority of your people are going to be blacklists to vote for you, you got to talk black to them. And when you talk black to them, you got to listen to them more than talk. And number two, you have to take notes. Number three, you got to find out what they want and do whatever you can to promise to give them. Give them an offer. Give them their offer that they cannot refuse. Well, Shontel Brown didn't give them that. Shontel Brown don't have to give them that. Why? Because Marsha Fudge, a trusted person in the community, all she have to do is low-key endorse her, and those people will go that way. And that's the quagmire. That's the rut that need to be broken. You keep voting for these people, ain't going to do nothing for you because you're too familiar with them. You're too connected to them. Now, I have my opportunities to get close to politicians, especially here in New York. I refuse to. I refuse to get so close to them that I'm not going to put the heat on you. You're not going to do me like Cuomo did Tish James. You see how that worked out. You reeled me in to put me on your side because I'm afraid of you. I'm low-key afraid of you and the power that you got. So I need to bring you into my camp as my friend. I need you to become my frenemy, not my full enemy. Because it makes it a little more difficult. Once we become good friends, it makes it a little more difficult for you to turn on me. I want you guys to listen to this. I hear people say friend of the show. I hear that on a lot of people's platforms. You're a guest of the show. I don't want you to think you're coming up here in a friendly environment. I want you to believe that you come in. See, that's the access journalism. I don't want you to come up here thinking that I'm not going to bring the heat. See, one of the things about Crystal when she did that interview with Bernie Sanders is she only can bring limited heat. Bernie Sanders didn't even want to talk to Kyle. Didn't even want to talk to Kyle Kulinski. Because Kyle Kulinski called him a cuck. A cuck. And Kyle Kulinski was wrong. Bernie Sanders would be he's been cucking to Joe Biden since he dropped out of this race. No, while he was in the race, he was cucking. My good friend Joe. That's cucking, man. Familiarity kills the anointing or the power you have to impose on people. You can't get familiar with these people as a voter if they're politicians. Can't get familiar. Because it's going to affect you when it's time for you to call them out. It's time for you to point the blame to them. Things you did wrong. Stop telling me you can't do this when you can. You have the. Stop telling me he can't do this when he can. Stop, bruh. And I know, well, they ain't gonna ever come back. Well, that's them being a coward. I can handle the heat. See, one thing, I'll let you know I'm not a good debater. You debate me, you're gonna kick my behind because I'm not a good debater. I'm not. And a lot of you are smarter than me. I operate this platform on common sense, not intellect. Common sense. Some of these people in the news, they operate on common sense, but it's a different common sense. They operate on a cons man's sense. I trademarked that word. That's mine. Don't you go out there. These people have platforms of a cons man's sense, where they allow con men's out here to nickel and dime you into voting for them. And I'm not going to do that. You're not going to get, no. I don't care who you are. I don't care what party you are. If I got family members in Cleveland telling me you have not spent no time in their community, and they're saying, no, you can't, no, stop. And the church is not the beacon of the community. The church lost that a long freaking time ago. They're not the beacon of the community anymore. The beacon of the community is your town halls. It's your PTA meetings. It's your, heck, I will walk in a freaking club and tell black people what I'll do for them. If I, in the middle of, if she's strip dancing, I'll pay her enough money to stop the stage, and I'm coming out there and get on that stage and tell you everything that I will do for you. If you elect me, I'll spin around that pole one time, bust my behind, and walk on out. I'll do that for you. I'll spin on a pole and bust my behind. Now, I ain't twerking for you, but I'll find out where all the black people are, and I will go there alone. If I bring somebody, it's going to be some people that they're familiar with. Now, again, Nina Turner did well with black votes. Let's take a look at this. She did well with the vote, period. Look at this. This is Ballotpedia. Chantel Brown had 50% of the vote. Nina Turner had 43%. Now, understand, there's a lot of other people that were still in this race that got votes. That's one thing that either could have helped Nina or hurt. If they were allowed to allow only two people to run. Because it's an open primary, other people were still able to run in that primary, and they shaded off some votes. So total votes, 70,427. You're looking at about you're looking at about let me go back to you. You're looking at 35,000, 31,000. So you're looking at about maybe 3 more thousand votes that could have went toward Nina Turner and Chantel if these other people wasn't in the race. So that played in the factor that you saw some people that was helped spoiling the race. Okay, Tariq Shabazz ran against Marsha Fudge last time, got his butt spanked. Dude, give it up. Give it up, bruh. Give it up. Now, she has an opponent, Chantel Brown, Laverne Gore, 74.2. Now, she only got 3,000, nowhere near the numbers of Turner and Brown. But you understand that the Republicans had nothing to lose. So they could afford to leave this race and go vote in this race. And if I was a Republican, I probably would have did the same thing. You got 705,000 people in this district. 705,000 people. Majority of them black. The second demographic is white. .3% Asian, 3.6% Hispanic. So you see where your fight is black. They ended up splitting the black vote, and thanks to black politicians and the Black Caucus and Marsha Fudge low-key endorsement using her mom as a mouthpiece, a trusted piece to these black people. I don't understand why they trust them. Nina Turner lost that race, but barely lost. Now, again, according to the polls, she was killing the game. Let me say this and I'm done. Now, I predict for the first time, Laverne Gore may get close to beating a Democrat. This is her, I think, her third time running. Let me bring myself up here. And I'm done. Let me go back to the Jacobin report, though. The battle lines were familiar. Let me go back to this because this article is so revealing. Number one, the title of the article is asinine to me. Of course, she's supposed to, it's not, both of them supposed to have been left. Both of them claim to be left. Chantel Brown don't claim to be a senator. She claimed to be left, and she probably claimed to be progressive because Clyburn claimed to be progressive, and even Joe Biden claimed to be progressives. They do that. She claimed that she's more for $15 an hour and Medicare for all than Nina Turner, lying through her teeth. Turner's opponent, Chantel Brown, who won endorsements. How was it a competition? You actually think Hillary Clinton was going to endorse Nina Turner? No, Nina Turner is her arch enemy. If it was legal, she would take Nina Turner out. That's what I believe. But she won endorsements from Hillary Clinton, people whom older black people love. South Carolina Representative Jim Clyburn. Now, this fool gonna think he's the kingmaker. And we got to remind him, dude, you ain't. And the Congressional Black Caucus PAC. See, when you got these old Negro politicians out here campaigning for this one person, Nina Turner didn't have that. But even whether she had that or not, she did win a close race. I'm telling anybody that's running for office, when you got something like this happen, you got to go out there and get black leadership on your side locally. In the last month, centrist group like Third Way, Democratic Majority of Israel, spent millions on a TV air war against Turner, mostly focusing on her criticism of Joe Biden and Democratic leaders. And look, I got to admit, these things were supposed to happen. It's going to happen. It's a campaign. I don't care what kind of campaign it is. If you don't want a diehard or an aggressive candidate or one that shake things, and if you don't want that type of populist get in your face candidate, you're gonna do whatever you can to stop it. So you can't let your girl fully take the blame on this, so you'll get a pack to go out there and smear the opponent to the point where the opponent loses momentum. And that's what happened. These things are happening. These things happening in race. A lot of people are hurt and upset and shocked. I'm shocked that this it happens, dude. It happens, lady. These things happen. Politics is a dirty, nasty game. And this is just a reminder, it is, and you got to play a different game if you want to win. Now, Nina Turner was right to defend herself and come up with ads about Chantel Brown, especially $7,000 pay raise, and y'all ain't getting nothing. Especially ad about funneling money over to a organization who her boyfriend worked for. So TV air wars are nothing new. It's supposed to happen. Spending money on TV air wars is supposed to happen from whatever pack, whether it's a Congressional Black Caucus, whether it's Republican, Third Way, or whatever. These things happen. This ad was presented to you by Congressional Black PAC. These ads were presented by Third Way. These are supposed to happen. It's going to be on the billboards. It's going to be on your mama's shirt, and she won't even know she got that on her shirt. It's going to happen. You have to expect it. When you fight, when you're winning, fight like you're losing. When you think you're winning by a large margin, you better assume that that's false, and you got to fight like you're losing. The moment you start seeing the big guns from Washington, D.C., the big black guns with no freaking bullets in, folks ain't got no freaking power. When they start coming on the local scene, then you got to bring the local scene up on your platform. The worst thing you could do is go, progressive. Even though most black people do gel with progressive policies. Again, the best thing from you, the smartest campaign advice for a person who never ran for office is a common sense advice, is listen to what the people want and make it so, and put it on the platform so good that they cannot refuse to deny you the vote. You take their, not the progressives' most dire need, because you can't assume everybody's a progressive. Just go down and find out their most pressing needs and make it your top priority on your campaign, and you will get it out. Other than that, they're gonna continue to go through this quagmire. They're gonna continue to be in this rut. It's up to you to get them off the treadmill. It's up to you to get them out of the rut. And the way you do it is, and I'm telling you because I can honestly tell you this because I am in the community. Find out what those voters that you are trying to get votes for, find out their most pressing needs and fulfill it. There's nothing like having an empty void in your heart and something comes in to fill it. It does something to you. And that's my advice for any black politician or anybody who wants the black vote or anybody who want to break that chain, who get upset at black people because they keep voting for centrist Democrats and Democrats ain't going to do nothing for them and stuff like that. You could be pissed off, frustrated, because I am most of the time. But like I told you, there's some things I can see with the natural eye. There's some things that's common sense, and there's some things that hit you in what they call the spirit. In your inner man. And that have you say, hey, that's common sense. You don't go talk about the things that you running on. You go talk about the things they want you to run on. And you make a commitment to put it in the forefront and run on it. And you will get the nomination. See, these are not national campaigns, even though these seats are seats of national prominence. You still got to understand you're representing a district in your local area in your state. It's the reason why Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, no matter how much you people may turn your back on her, and rightfully so, when she doing stupid stuff like she been doing, piling around, saying Joe Biden. I mean, anybody talking about Joe Biden gets an A and he's doing well and all that. Yeah, of course, for your people. He gets an A because he's doing well for your people. Your community. And black folks, you getting up there getting Joe Biden an A and he did nothing for you. And no, if you bring me an empty paper at the desk, and you haven't took the test, you're getting an F. You're getting a 0, worse than an F. He's taking the test on black people and have not completed anything on that test. So as right now, he gets a 0. The battle lines were familiar when the results came in Tuesday. The outcome was familiar too, with Brown winning by 6 points. The Democratic establishment, the donor class, and their media acolytes could take another victory lap. The post-election takes were familiar too. Nina Turner loses in Ohio means Biden doesn't need to keep caving to the left, declared James Holman in the Washington Post, following the script in continual use since Hillary beat Bernie on Super Tuesday 2016. Well, the problem is this. That campaign shouldn't have been a national campaign against Joe Biden. It should have been a national campaign for that community. You remember how 50% black people run that district? Black people are the majority in that district. That campaign should have been strictly about them. Now, the second demographic is white women. And that's where Nina Turner lost a race. White women. Another place. First of all, you got to get majority of the blacks on your side. You can't get half. And you had, according to this, she had majority of the whole entire population on her side, according to polls. Like I said, the polls are funny. You got to make calls. You know, I mean, I can't trust the poll. It's always what happened actually at the election that I'm more concerned about. I'm not concerned about polls. White women makes up, white people make the second populace in that district. So not only do you have to make sure you put black people's issues on the forefront, you got to win those white voters too if you want to win an overwhelming majority. See, Marcia Fudge has been good at playing both. That is why Marshall Fudge can run against Laverne Gore and win in a landslide. See, understand this, folks. The key to winning is you had to get majority of the black people on your side, number one. And because it's not an all black state and you got white people is the second largest demographic, you're going to have to cater to them too. But you don't put black people on the side to cater toward the white people. You cater to black people and you cater to white people. And another reason why Shontel Brown won that race is because she got some white people on her side, some conservatives that don't want to rock the boat. Remember the quote from Frederick Douglass? Let me go back to that quote. There's no struggle there. If there's no struggle, there's no progress. There's a lot of counties. There's a lot of wards in that area that's not going through the struggle. Affluent white neighborhoods, gated community, 6-figure homes and things like that in the outside area of in those districts. That's good. So they ain't gonna cater toward Nina Turner. They gonna cater for business as usual. That's who they gonna cater to, business as usual. So you got to give them the reason to come out to vote for you. You can't say to hell with you. You need every vote you can. But you don't put them on the front burner and not put your number one voting block on the front burner. Again, it is your job to get our people It's my job too. That's why I focus on the issues and not the candidate. That's why I say he who's going to cater toward the needs of the community should get your vote. And it's ultimately your decision. I'm not even going to tell you who I believe will cater towards your need, because that doesn't matter. It's who you believe will cater towards your needs. And I can convince you, but I was told to convince a person above their will is of the same opinion still. I can convince you. But when that person don't pan out and do what they're supposed to do, then I've done you an injustice. Right now, you got people who are so pissed off because the squad have opportunities to do what they need to do, and because of fear, they don't do it, and people get mad because people are upset with that. No, you need to get mad too. Frederick Douglass said, those who profess to favor freedom and yet deprecate agitation are men who won't cross without plowing up the ground. They want rain without thunder and lightning. How in the world you expect these people to do something without you putting the heat on their behind? Being nice and kind only goes so far. Like I say, any parent to turn around and say, look, Johnny, I need you to wash the dishes. All right, mommy. You wake up, the dish is still dirty. Johnny, before you leave, get your butt up and wash these dishes. I got to go to work. Get up before you go to school. I want those dishes washed. Okay, mommy, I got it. I'm going to wash the dishes. And then when she get home, those dishes are still in there. Guess what Johnny going to get when mama get home? She going to get her butt whooped. Why do you think these politicians should be any different? You keep asking them to do something because you put them in office to get something done for you. Remember, that's how you get them in office. They need to be saying what they're going to do for you. The things that you demanded, for the demands that you have, the demands you have is the reason why they got power. And if they don't heed toward your demands, then the only opposite thing is to start strip them of power. If you're not going to go to Congress and do what I tell you to do, then you can expect me to stop supporting you. But we got a person that's running for office on Trump, then that's your problem. It's not my problem. If you do, see, that heat need to be on them, not on, don't get mad at the public. Don't get mad at the voter. The heat is on the politician. They're not doing what the public or the voter told them to do. So you got to get mad at them. You got to get in their face. And anybody that supports them or love them or call them my good friend or call them friends of the show, you got to get in their face and say, hey, bro, you're a friend of the show. You're my good friend, Joe, but you're not doing the will of the people. And, these people going to stop supporting you. And don't ask me to go talk to them to support you. I'm not doing that. That's your job. You want their support? Do what they tell you to do. Remember, they're the reason they got you there. I'm not there. I don't even vote in your county. I'm not part of your state. Do what the people told you to do. Or get out. But I need my career position, and it's a struggle in Washington. These people make threats. Then why you ran? Surely you should know that Washington D.C. is not a cakewalk. But you got us. And if you keep us first instead of your career, or being on these committees first, or whatever, or kissing the butt of these politicians, then I don't need you. I don't. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stop supporting you financially. Now, Nina Turner did not have a problem with money in this race. She did not have a problem with money. The problem was a lot of money came to the aid of Chantel Brown in these crazy ads. And it cut the lead. Chantel Brown had Marsha Fudge and friends come down there to vouch for her. And because black people are on that treadmill of Democratic politics, they're going to go the area of Marsha Fudge and friends versus the era of Nina Turner. See, it's the populist job. It's the fringe candidate. It's the populist candidate is the candidate that's gonna go full revolutionary candidate. It's his job to get the people off the on treadmill. It's your job to get them off the treadmill. That mouse is gonna keep running around that doggone hamster wheel until he's either tired or you actually take him off the hamster wheel and put him into an area where he can't run on that hamster wheel. It's your job. Let me go back to this article. This article is a good article, and it lets you know it reinforced a lot of what I'm saying. Shontel Brown, who won endorsement of Hillary Clinton, South Carolina, James Clyburn, old school black that's in they have kept people in the black treadmill and will continue if we don't find people to get them off the treadmill. That's why I appreciate different voices on YouTube to get black people off that treadmill. But it's not ultimately their job to stop the black people on the treadmill from giving them power alone. It's a candidate who wants to run for power who has to cater toward the needs of the black grassroots movement. The battle lines were familiar when the results came in Tuesday night. The outcome was familiar too, with Brown winning by 6 points. The Democratic establishment, the donor class, so obviously Jacobin is a progressive leaning paper. The post-election takes were familiar too. Nina Turner loses in Ohio. Biden means we read over that. Turner loss was certainly a defeat for the post-Sanders progressive movement. So you got to stop this right here. You people are holding on to a political revolution. You guys are still holding on to the post-Sanders. They even call it post-Sanders progressive movement. You need to call this the movement for the people. I specifically call it a movement for black people who had enough. We had enough with politicians. We had enough with these political parties. We making the decision to detach from these political parties and become a voting bloc and forcing them to bend the knee to get our vote. And when I say force them to bend the knee, here's our agenda. We need you to go run with it. We're passing this agenda baton to you, and we expect you to go across the finish line with that and nothing else. This race in Ohio is not about the progressive movement. This race in Ohio was about doing right for the people of that district. But a closer look at the results suggests that emergency of a new narrative too, with rather different implications. While Sanders famously failed to gain crucial support from black working class voters, a demographic that other progressives have struggled to win to, Turner held her own. She's supposed to. Y'all writing this article like she's white or she's Latino. The nerves, you're a black person. You can't even reach out to the black people to earn their vote. That's dumb. You can't earn the vote of your own community. Even in defeat, she may well have won more black working class votes than Cori Bush did in her victorious campaign in the Missouri last summer. What's the purpose of saying this? She still lost. It was close, but she still lost. Now, this should be a time when Nina Turner can re-engage herself and stop going nationally on the fight majority of the time and continue to show herself as a leader in that community. See, Cori Bush won because she showed herself a leader within that community. And I don't agree with Cori Bush on a whole lot of stuff. There's a whole lot of stuff that I do, but there's a whole lot of stuff I don't. But there's one thing I know about Cori Bush and people like Jamal Bowman. The reason And they may have lost their race the first time or the second time, but they continue to show themselves a leader, an advocate, a fighter in that community in real time. They didn't take themselves after they lost and try to go nationally. And I'm not saying that's a good thing, but you got to understand, if you're going to win a race, or at the end of the day, you got to represent your community, not just a political movement or even your country. It's your community. Of course, that's your community. Your community is first and foremost. Not a progressive movement. Not a national stage. Not saying you shouldn't push and support all these things, but that community is your main haven. And your voice, unless you're going to ignore your community, your voice is going to grow bigger, stronger, and more powerful. You're going to attain more power by making sure you do right by your community. A comparison between Turner and Bush campaign may be instructive here. Both candidates performed best with the core constituents of the larger Sanders coalition. Of course. Nina Turner has been the leader of our revolution. She's been Bernie Sanders' Flavor Flav, in a sense, his hype woman. She hypes the crowd up, and don't get me wrong, she ain't no Flavor Flav. She's actually has some intelligence, and she knows politics. And for somebody who posted up, Nina Turner say she's tired of this Democratic mess. She gonna go to the People's Party. Nina Turner ain't leaving to go to no People's Party. She supports the People's Party. She support third party, but she ain't leaving the Democratic Party. She ain't. They're gonna have to throw her out. Even though she could tell them in their face, look, y'all ain't gonna tell me what to do. If I need to endorse a third party, what you gonna do? Kick me out? See, she ain't gonna volunteer to leave the Democratic Party. They don't have to kick her out. They have to find some ways where she violated the bylaws of the DNC and kick her out. She ain't leaving the Democratic Party. She's one of those people that believe you can change the party from the inside. She ain't going. Even in defeat, she may well have won more black working class voters than Cori Bush did in her victorious campaign in Missouri last night. See, Missouri is a different deal than Ohio. Cori Bush lost her election the last time, but she ran again. Now I expect Nina Turner to do the same thing. If she run again, she'll win because she know where her mistakes were. And this is the key point of this video. Stop. You can't convince people to go your way. It's up to politicians to convince people to go their way. And you can't get mad because they haven't bought it. You can't get mad because they wasn't sold. And I used to sell Lexington encyclopedias, man. And I know sales is a numbers game, man. But when I first started, when nobody buying, man, my ratio was like 50. Before, I think by the time I got to my 55th presentation, I finally got one person to sign. And then I realized it's a numbers game. I can beat you, you know. You could talk to 10 and get 1. I could talk to 100 and get 10. I'm hurt. I'm wore out. I'm beat up. But I beat you. I got 10. You only got 1. This is a good reflection instead of blaming left YouTubers who may not even mention her name in a race. Who cares about them? Focus on me. It's my job to mention her name. It's my job to continue to push her in the light. I know a lot of people who support the People's Party have supported Nina Turner and wanted her to win and donated and make calls for her. They may not have had the money to go down to Ohio and become good friends, and they may not have that. But there's a lot of people who did support her in the People's Party. There's a lot of people who did make phone calls. See, the People's Party is going to be like the Working Families Party. The Working Family Party oftentimes push Democrats into office. The Democratic Party goes and earn the Workers' Family Party's endorsement. And this is where Frederick Douglass is talking about. You got to earn this thing. And if people felt like you didn't earn it enough, you can't get mad at them. You got to go back and find out where you made the mistake. See, my presentation for this program that I'm pushing now has gotten sharpened. I listened to my old presentation. It sucked. No wonder nobody didn't buy it. But this new presentation, man, I'm knocking them out the box, man. I'm getting more sales. Knocking them out the box. I reevaluated myself and how I ran this campaign. And that's where the focus need to be. You can blame big money, but big money is going to always come in the campaign. You got to assume it's going to happen, and you got to assume they're going to wait till the last minute. Why would I put money in the campaign if I think I got a chance of winning? Now, if it got a chance that I'm going to lose, then I'll put money in the campaign. So big money coming in the campaign, smearing a candidate and all that, that's always been part of party politics, and it's going to come from Republicans, it's going to come from left and right. Expect that in the campaign. Assume big money is going to come drown you out. That's why we need to do something about big money. I mean, I can't blame big money in this situation, even though it worked with the video ads, but you got to be always ready to combat the big money. Don't get me wrong, big money hurt Nina Turner's campaign. But the people need to be prepared to expect that big money is going to come in to hurt your campaign, and you got to have something to fight against that. I mean, you got a big old center in basketball weighing almost 300 pounds, and you're a center, you weighing 120 pounds, bro. You better get your weights up. That brother going to be knocking you down and going straight to the goal. You got to get your weights up or get somebody just as big to play that position for you. You got to expect big money to come in. You got to expect people to smear you. You got to have a counter to each one of them. Big money come in, you have a counter. You have big money from the people to counter with ads, to counter that negative ad, stuff like that. Then you got to go down there and explain, let these people know who you really are. When you're spending time with people in the community, they know who you are. See, progressives know. Progressives know. It don't matter the party. Progressives know. Even Green Party know. Even People's Party know. Even Working Family, even the Social Democrat, they know Nina Turner supports Medicare for All and all that. They know that. You know who didn't really trust that? The people in that community. You know what fuddled with that trust? The freaking ass that lied on her. You know what you could have been prepared to do? Go down there. I mean, again, and I'm going to say this because I'm going to always talk about where the campaign went wrong. I'm not going to talk about where people went wrong. I'm not going to talk about where YouTubers went wrong, what they doing wrong. I ain't got time to be worrying about what y'all doing. I just want all y'all to find the common grounds and work on that. I ain't got to like you. I ain't got to trust you, but we have a common issue that we need to get like right now with the reparations situation. I ain't got to like you. If you support it, we in this together. I ain't got to like you. I can hate you. You can hate me. But we got a common ground. And we can put our hate to the side for this. Jake, you can put up a tweet that we know he ain't gonna abide by. The Republicans and Democrats, they all, we always fighting, but there's some things that we can come together on. Fred Hampton did that. Jimmy Dore tried to help you do that with the forced to vote. Y'all fell out over that. You fell out over Jimmy. Jimmy fell out of you. Both of y'all going back and forth with this stuff. Now y'all getting vicious. YouTubers getting vicious with other YouTubers. When basically all y'all believe the same basic things. So for the sake of those basic things, you do you, I do me. Just keep my name out your mouth. Now I mentioned some of these people out of my mouth, like I mentioned about Jimmy Dore and him not having a clue what he's talking about closing, helping black people close the wealth gap, and how he nonchalant made closing the wealth gap a national thing instead of a black thing. And not understanding that talking point, helping all people will help black people, is a white supremacist smack in the face. Because as soon as you start talking about helping black people, everybody want to talk about, what about all people? All people ain't go through what we went through. I'm almost done. A comparison between the Turner and Bush campaign may be instructive here. Both candidates performed best with the core constituent, a largest, so they both did well with progressives. Turner cleaned up the western half of Cleveland. Bush ran the table in southern St. Louis. To call all of these areas gentrified neighborhoods would be too oversimplifying, but they do fit a certain profile. Compared to the whole Cleveland and St. Louis, they are better educated, younger, and more racially diverse, though usually majority whites. And see, these are the people that love Nina Turner. These are the people that love Cori Bush. And it's good to have multicultural people loving black politicians, as long as black politicians don't become white people's black people. And when I say white people's black people, white elites choose and pick them. See, Obama was white people's black president. Most black people never really visioned or had in mind Obama until he started running and he started gaining momentum. Then we started going on the bandwagon, just for most of us, simply just because he was black. And we figured he was going to have our best interests at heart. Boy, was we wrong. I know I was. But in a poor and working class black precinct, there's a gap between the two candidates. In poor and working class black precincts, there's a gap between the two candidates. In East Cleveland, whose population is 90% black, with a median income of just above $20,000 a year. Get that? Turner lost to Brown by less than 3 points. In Cleveland Ward 9, with similar demographic profile, Turner won by 4. Now, why did Turner win like that in those in different wards? It was the messaging. On the table, Turner won 5 of Cleveland's 9 black majority wards and lost 4. All of them narrowly by less than 2 points. She won the city of Cleveland overall, as well as the black majority city of Akron. And again, one of the reasons why she won Cleveland, because Cleveland knows Nina Turner, and Akron knows Nina Turner. And this continue to go back to what I said. You have to go to all those black precincts and have them know you. So like I said, Chantel Brown, she's worked on the community board, community council. She's in charge of DNC. She's a crony of Marcia Fudge. People love Marcia Fudge. And as long as she can go somewhere and stand next to Marcia Fudge, these people buy in automatically. I tell every black politician, take this as a lesson. When you have something like this where there's a divide, where you can win 5 and lose 4, or win 4 and lose 5 and stuff like that, The demographic of 90% black and the median 20,000 a year does it lets you know that you have to go there and show yourself as a fighter for them before you start running for office. You got to continue to show that I got your back. Wherever I go, it's about you. Whatever I do, it's about you. On the whole, Turner won 5 of Cleveland County 9 black majority wards and lost 4 narrowly. All right, so this is a major gain for Sanders' 2020 campaign. Stop making this about Sanders. Stop making this about Sanders' movement. You progressives, this Jacobin article, you have to stop making everything about the Bernie Sanders movement. Call it anything. Call it movement for the people. And I'm not endorsing movement for the people party. I'm just saying make it about the people. Now, you guys, you take time, finish reading this article. I want to talk to you and then I'm done. What you have to do as a black politician running for office. See this article in Jacobin, it doesn't throw me off. Matter of fact, the title itself, title itself is a piss in the face of the black people, the black community in Ohio, which get out the vote, which is majority of the people in that precinct and majority of the voters that's going to get out. You got to stop making this about the Bernie Sanders movement and progressives. Yes, Nina is part of that program. And that could be a detriment to Nina Turner's campaign in the future in that city. Whoop-de-doo, Bernie Sanders. Whoop-de-doo, you was Bernie Sanders. Black people, that's the stuff that's going to turn us off. What are you doing for us? It's about you being part of our campaign, part of our movement, part of what we need to get done first. What you're going to do, you need not to get 50%, 40%, 30%. You need to get your black sister that's running against a crony who should have been called out from the beginning of this doggone race for her ethics, lack thereof, and her being on the DNC staff. If you gonna run a race, you should have called her out to step down from her DNC position to legitimately run this race. Plus, you need to find out if the person who's running the elections in that county have any ties to her. And if she have any ties, she need to step down. That was Stacey Abrams' problem. How are you going to run against a person who's still in charge of the elections for the state? You're asking to lose. That right there should have been known to put, and you do a press conference demanding that. That would have put real, that would have helped solidify your position. Number 2, when it comes to the black community, you need to get as many as you can. Half is not enough. Quarter is not enough. You need to get at least 75. Because even then, you don't know how many is going to be motivated to get out to vote. And one of the ways you get these people to get out the vote and get out the vote for you is you give them an offer they cannot refuse. Now, some of the things on the progressive platform is an offer that a lot of people should not refuse. But black people are getting wiser and realize that there's, you even know, because you confessed it, that you know there's a wealth gap between blacks and white, and you understand what need to be done to handle that wealth gap. If you would have been, I honestly believe if she would have took that message in in Ohio, she would have took some of Chantel Brown so-called solid, favorable. When I say favor, because all these people love Marsha Fudge and they'll do whatever. Whoever Marsha Fudge pick, that's who we picking. Who Obama pick, that's who we picking. Who is we? I got my own brain, bruh. And it might be fried a little bit, but at least I still got some brains. You done killed your brain and got brainwashed. If you want the black vote, and people say, oh, she has the working class vote. The article says she has the working class black vote. She have half of it. Okay, let's say she had majority of it. Okay, let's say she had majority of it. She needed to get more black people to vote out. Now, if you go back, you'll realize that to get out the vote effort wasn't still that high. It was a primary. It was an open primary, which means Republicans actually went in to vote against Nina Turner in support of Chantel Brown, all to probably vote against Chantel Brown in the general. And that's how it is when you're dealing with open primaries. Anybody can vote, which is good, because I am a supporter of voting for getting somebody out of a race real early so we don't have to deal with them later on. I'm very supportive of that. But I'm in supportive of that in another way. When it comes to my candidate, I would get in a race to vote against a candidate to help somebody get to the next level. So you had that going on, and the money and all that. But the main point I want everybody who wants to achieve the black vote, don't go there talking about the Bernie Sanders movement. Talk about a movement with them. Talk about their movement. Talk about their grassroots movement. Talk about the things they're pushing. Talk about what you're going to do for them. Talk about what can I do for you. Then talk about what you've done with what you learned from them about their needs and how you're going to push getting their needs. And you got to make it sound like their message. Again, a lot of people say, well, she can't be talking about reparation and blah, 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 blah. Not right now. She'll lose her race. Not in a majority black district, you not. I mean, you could talk about fulfilling the needs of the black community and still talk about what you can offer for white people in the community too, because you still got to listen to these people. You still got to, you still represent you're not just represent black, you also represent white. Most of them black, but some of them white. The second demographic there is white. So you got to have a message for the white demographic to get them to come out too. But you better have a freaking message to drive out to vote for black people. It doesn't matter. Nina Turner could have got more black people out to vote. A lot of these black people sat out the race. A lot of black people sat out the race because they don't trust neither one of them. Because they feel neither one of them have their best interests at heart, even though one may have. You have to sell it to them that you have their best interests at heart by talking about the things that they're interested in, not what you believe they're interested in. Anyway, I'm done with this particular segment of the the Bobby Brown Show on the go. And I want to reiterate, just like I told you, see, we got too many people sound like Democrats. When Hillary Clinton lost that race, people got hot with progressives and hot with black people who did not support Hillary Clinton. And they blamed the Trump election on us. Oh, they was viciously pissed off. They blame everybody. They blame YouTube people like myself, like Nico, like Tim Black, you name it. This is way back at the beginning when, I was just starting off. They blamed YouTubers for the loss of Hillary Clinton, and they tried to shame us. talked about everything else but what should have happened. And my whole thing, the reason, if you're going to blame me, blame your girl. She didn't do what she could to earn my vote. She took me for granted. And as a result, she lost. Never blame the voter. It's your job to convince. It's your job to sell. It's your job to market yourself. And one of the best way to market yourself is fulfill the needs. See, most successful marketers, most successful salesmen, the product they have, they paint it as a tool to fulfill your needs. That situation you got going on right now, this will take care of it. How? Why? You explain how, and you explain why, and even if you haven't demonstrated, you demonstrate it. And once they see it, sign on the dotted line. Every politician got to stop selling from your sell point and sell from their needs. If somebody have a need and you have a product to fulfill the need, you can be filthy, stinking rich. Find out what the black community need in general. Advocate for it as a priority. Make your face well known throughout the year, throughout every major black event, throughout every major pop up at places you would normally pop up, and jail with black people and stuff like that, because we got to trust you. I've been on this treadmill a while. You want to take me off. How can I trust you? Now, look, I don't know everything, and I'm not super intellectual, but I know things from a common sense point of view. Living in Mount Vernon and Yonkers, there were various needs that the people want. A lot of people wasn't educated on the most urgent need, the closing the wealth gap, but even those who did, Jamal Bowman he talked black to those people in those neighborhoods. He talked about reparation. He talked about white supremacy. He talked about the police crimes and things like that. Now he's in office. He still talks about it a little bit, but not as much as he normally do. But down there, he talked about it, and he beat Ingalls handily, because he spent quality time in that community, man. Jamal Bowman was everything. He was at the football games, hanging out with people. He was at block parties. I mean, he would show up somewhere everywhere. Show up at the senior centers, and, he'll bring food to the seniors and stuff like that. And, he was there hands-on with the community. So when it was time to vote, he's a former principal. When it was time to vote, guess what happened? The people came in overwhelmingly. And yet at the same time, he did cater to some of the white liberals. He catered towards some of the white progressives. But it wasn't that, there's not that much. Most of them are living in affluent neighborhoods, and they're going to tend to vote Republican anyway. And the same thing in the Chantel Brown and Nina Turner situation. Most of those white people in those areas are pretty much Republican leaning, got everything good, don't want nobody to rock the vote. They cool. So you're going to have to convince them to come out and get out the vote, and it will be a convincing. Because if you got somebody who's saying, I'm going to support Joe Biden, and Joe Biden said, look, I'm not going to do anything to rock the vote, guess what? Those people are going to support that person. She says she's going to support Joe, and Joe said he ain't going to rock the boat. And I know Joe's a Republican and Democrat close anyway. So I'm going to go with Joe. So those white people come out and support that, because they, according to Frederick Douglass, they have no struggle. So when you start talking progressive to them, it ain't going to turn them on to get out and vote. But as a progressive, you can find some kind of way to trigger something in them to get out and vote for you. And a lot of people mad at the white people for not getting out and vote for Nina Turner. You can't expect the white people to get out there and vote for Nina Turner. Most of those white people are living well, and a lot of them are Republicans and conservatives. They're not going to go out there and support a lefty. They're not gonna support somebody who want to. No. So your overall, and this is going to be in majority of the places, especially when they got major cities like Cleveland and Akron and Dayton and places like that. Your main bet is to become one with that community. Thought, action, deeds, location, pop up, have fun, eat, show that you ain't got an agenda. And if you do, the agenda is to do whatever you can from them. Pop up here and bring some toilet paper, pop up here, bring some toys, pop up in here, have a job fair, pop up in here. And, you know, because we have that here. I mean, not for nothing. Jamal Bowman hold eating events, free food, and, you know, stuff like that. And not saying that's should be what black people going for, but the point is his face is showing up and popping up around here. The reason AOC is gonna continue to win and win, even though y'all against her, and I'm against her in a whole lot of areas too, but the reason she's gonna win and win, because every now and then she'll pop up and host an event, and if she can't be there, she'll pop up on the phone and talk to the people at the event. She'll pop up in Parkchester. She'll pop up here in Hunts Point and rally with the strikers. Even though it could be a plot to keep her from doing something, she's popping up. So what I said to Miss Turner and any person that's running for office, make sure you're popping up. Make sure you're not popping up when it's time to get elected. Make sure you don't pop up for international events more than you pop up for local events. Make sure you're hands-on with those communities that's going to vote for you. Make sure you're when you talk to them, you got your legs crossed and your ears open, and in most cases take notes. Let them see you're taking notes, because it shows that you're interested in their subject. These are the things that's going to cause you to have majority, 75% per se, if not 80 of the black vote. Now, in this general, Chantel Brown is commanding to win. And one of the reasons she's going to be commanding to win is because the Democrats going to pretty much push Nina Turner to support her, which Nina Turner would be a fool to do. Don't get out there and push her. Let her do this on her own. I mean, she conned her way getting $7,000 raise and put money in a boyfriend pocket. She can't fight this battle on her own. And it's not going to take a whole lot, because then Marsha Fudge now can come out, and everybody, the people that these people are familiar with in these areas, even the white conservative that Marsha Fudge is going to come out, they're going to come out and vote for her. She ain't going to do a doggone thing for her, but they're going to come out and vote for her. She's going to win big. And then she's going to have a big old head. Not only did I beat the progressive, the socialists, like Joe Biden said, I beat the socialists, I won by a landslide like Biden. And she gonna think it's a mandate that Ohioans are in. Ohioans elect me to represent them, when it's not necessarily so. You just lucked out because you got some big endorsements and you got some big money, and there was a split in the black vote, and you happen to get some of that white affluent vote because they know you wasn't going to rock the boat. Let me put this quote up one more time, then I'm done. If there's a struggle, there's no progress. Those who profess to have freedom and yet deprecate agitation are men who won't cross. So going back to this, if there's no struggle, there's no progress. You can't expect to get the vote of people who are not struggling from a person who preaching a message of progress, a progressive message. You're not going to get that. You got to find a way to give those who are not struggling something that they want in order to get that vote. Other than that, you're not going to get it. They're fine. They like the status quo. They're not going nowhere, and they're not going to try to change that. Those who profess to favor freedom and yet deprecate agitation are men who won't cross without plowing up the ground. They won't rain without thunder and lightning. If you're going out here dumping on voters, you're dumping on YouTubers, you're dumping on everybody, and not telling the person running for office, look, we need to fix some things here for the next time. That's deprecating agitation. It's fine to be agitated if you got a good reason to be agitated. I elect you to office to do something. See, at that time, when AOC was running, she was representing my district. She had a platform that we voted for her to run on, and she won. She was recruited. She didn't have no interest in being a politician. She was recruited. If 1 year go by you being in the Senate or in the House of Representatives and you don't start pushing that, we will be like that mother saying, it's okay, get the dishes first thing in the morning because roaches going to start coming out. Second year, still haven't washed the dishes. Third year, you get an opportunity to wash the dishes. You've been home all freaking day. You had an opportunity to wash it, but you still don't wash it. Then why are you getting mad because mama is about to take that belt and spank your behind? And rightfully so. I am a proponent of spanking that behind. That behind. I'm not talking about all over the body. That butt, spanking that butt. You can't get mad at nobody. If you need to get mad, you got to look at the person who's running. If the people don't buy your political message and vote for you, or if the people get tired of buying your political message because it ain't producing nothing and it's starting to seem like you're just dragging me along or you're pretty much lying to me to keep me in your camp, my first thing I'm going to do is stop supporting you financially. I'm not going to send no money to you. No, because you know you've proven yourself to be a dragger, a long staller. You know, that's one thing I hate is those strong prayers. You know, strong prayer McCraig. Strong prayer McCraig is that person that like to pray those long prayers. Man, I don't pray long prayers when I eat. Allah, Lord, thank you for this food I'm about to eat. Call this food blessed in Jesus' name. Amen. Bam, I'm eating. You get people up there, dear Lord God. The omnipotent, man, hurry up. I'm trying to eat. See, if you're that type of politician that you want to be long drawn on a tiptoe, I don't need you. I didn't put you in there to tiptoe. And don't tell me I don't know how politics work. You don't know me. You're just fearful. Now, who do you fear? Nancy Pelosi, or you fear losing your job because you ain't do what you're supposed to do? I'm done, guys. Let me get myself back up here and bid you adieu. Bid you adieu. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be upset. And this is for you progressives. And this is for your Bernie Sanders acolytes. These are for the people who still believe in the political revolution when the person who was leading the revolution caved in twice to be co-opted into the Democratic Party to serve his good friend Joe. These are the people who understand, just like Bernie Sanders understand, I'm just going to get along and do whatever I need to go along and get along with this administration because that's my good friend. Or, I'm going to go along with them because they're my good friend, or, friends of the show and stuff like that. I remain to stay on the side of, if you are my friend and you come to my place, you claim that you care about my community, I need to see you in my community. And I don't need to wait till election time to see you in my community. I need to see you in my community. If not once or twice a month, at minimum, once or twice a month. I would love to see you on a weekly basis, especially if you live anywhere close by. I expect you to be here on a weekly basis whenever the community do something big. I need you to sit here and show your support, your love, your money, your backing, your food, your whatever power you got. I need to see you investing that in the Black community. I need you to have some job fairs. I need you to bring in some businessmen to teach business classes. I need you to do this, and I need you to do this before you become a politician. People don't start doing that until they actually get elected. I need to show you leading this community as if you were a politician, as if you were elected. You know, Charlie Ringo used to have stuff like that, crooked as they come, because this was before the election. We need to see you who are aspiring to do something as a legislator to show your fight here in the community without the thoughts of being in the legislation. When's your next job fair? When's your next business symposium? When is your next school's getting ready to start? When is your next backpack campaign? When is your next feeding program? When is your next health and wellness seminar sponsored by you, a community leader, without actually being elected community leader? When I'm going to see this? See, when the Black community, when am I going to see your reparation, advocacy meeting, and you're meeting with people who are in support of reparation and have a plan that Congress should adopt? They don't need to study. When I'm going to see those? See, you politicians, I'm giving you something good. If you want to run for office, this is who you need to become, because the Black vote need to trust you. The Black vote needs to trust you. Anyway, I'm done. I'm Bobby Brown with the Bobby Brown Show, Bob TV. And Nina Turner is going to run again, I guarantee you. Why would you get Jeff Weaver? God. Why you want to get Jeff Weaver? If you, they say she won the Black working class vote. There's two demographics in Ohio. One is going to lean more Republican. One's going to lean more centric Democrat. How do you maintain and increase your Black vote? Always show up and show out. Always show up and show out and spend quality time with these people and hear their needs and let them know you heard them, and that you're not going to wait till you get in office to advocate for them. You're going to advocate for them right now in that district, in that neighborhood, in that ward. Yet, a lot of those white people are doing well. They don't want nobody to rock the vote. But you got to get them off, or they cannot refuse to get them to get out the vote. And at the end of the day, it's all about getting out the vote. There's a lot of Black people that did not vote. It's a lot of people that did not vote. There's a lot of Republicans that voted in this election, but a lot of Black people didn't get out the vote. And you got to take every Black vote seriously, and you got to ask the question, what do I need to do to get you to say, yeah, to voting for me? See, this is one of the things you do in marketing. Look, you might not be interested right now, but what do I need to do to move you closer to taking advantage of this program? Because I'm still not getting it. What do I need to do? Not what you should do. or what y'all should do. Because politicians be telling people like YouTubers in the grassroots movement, this is what y'all should be doing. Y'all sitting like that guy from Our Revolution. Y'all sitting back there between your YouTube camera and he's mad. I'm like, bruh, we elected you to work. We don't work for you. Don't be asking us what we gonna do. We doing it. Some of us are calling you out up here. Some of us are out there participating in different kind of programs. They out there, but you dump on that. Some people out there marching for Medicare, all dump for that. And mention ADOS, and you yourself, a black man, will turn super ultra undercover. You'll turn super ultra conservative racist right on me. And you're supposed to be a lefty. Like, I very rarely hear Kyle Kalinske talk about reparation. I very rarely hear Jimmy Dore talk about reparation. But I ain't worrying about them. If you don't talk about it, that's your problem. I'll talk about it. If you want to talk about Joe Rogan and being on the Joe Rogan show, you want to talk about Tucker Carlson and being on Tucker Carlson and all that kind of stuff, number one, why are you talking about that? It's not a badge of honor in my book, being on a bigot TV show to try to convince the bigot on agreeing with you on imperialism, but he's not going to agree with you when it comes to black issues. This is why I stay in my own lane. I love people unconditionally, even when you might piss me off. I'm not your parent. You're a grown, doggone man or woman. I'm not going to call you out. I'm not going to call your spouse out or nothing like that. I only call you out when I see that you're doing stuff that hurts the black community. That's why I'm always on Roland Martin, is because the stuff he do say in a segment and the stuff that he do on the street. And I talk about that, what he's doing. I don't talk about him. I don't talk about how much money he make. I don't talk about none of that stuff. I talk about what he's doing to the black community. Other than that, I don't mention too many people names up here. I only mention some of the things that are foul that they may do. We need more parties. I don't support parties. I support people. But the more parties, the more we can pull. I'm not gonna sit here and tell and use that old talking point that they always use to keep people from, to encourage or discourage people from getting involved with political parties. Oh, it ain't gonna work. If you keep falling for that, it won't. They say this in sales also. No matter whether you believe it or not, it's true. In other words, I think I said it wrong. There's the old saying that if you believe you can or can't, it's true. Because it's based on your belief. If you believe you can, you can. If you believe you can't, you can't. So, I love you guys. It's 2 hours. Wow. It's a special segment of the Rob Report, the Bobby Brown Show. And I just wanted to give you my opinion. My final sum up. I understand you're all angry. You're hurt because Nina Turner lost. I'm not hurt. Why? Because I don't take this stuff personally. I'm not going to be a friend of none of these people. I may low-key admire them on certain issues, but I'm not trying to be a friend of none of these politicians. I need to have my ability to be critical intact. I don't want no friendships in political parties. I got a lot of local political people who've had me come do workshops for them and everything. I'm not trying to be friends to them. I'm here to help the community on behalf of them. And if you come on this show, I'm not here to be a friend. I'm going to ask you some questions. It's going to be some hard questions. It's going to be questions coming from the audience. And if you want to take me out for a drink, I'm going to oblige and say no, because I don't want to get too familiar with you where I can't be critical of you when you need to be critical, when I need to be critical. And most YouTubers, they always, they're not that type of person. Like my man Tim Black. He can have you on the show and he can be critical of you, but he gonna ask you some hard questions. I choose not to go that route because I'm just the type of person that, the more friends, the more better. So if I know you're gonna be in the political land, I ain't trying to be a friend. I'm just not. Anyway, I'm done. But I appreciate you all. And when somebody get hot and bothered, and they may be saying it because they taking it from a personal standpoint and they may be upset. Understand they're upset. And when people get upset, they're gonna go off. It's a lot of people on YouTube when they see something that's not right by them, they're gonna get upset and express it up here. Don't take it personal. Don't take it even if they call you out personally. Just understand that they're doing that because they're upset. Now, people say, well, it's damaging the left movement. I don't care about leftism. I don't care about the left. I don't care about the right. I care about black number one. And I don't care where we get it from. If somebody on the right want to cater toward the needs of the black people and fulfill it, they're going to get my support. Somebody on the left does it. Somebody on the middle does it. Somebody outside does it. They're going to get my support. I don't care about nothing else but what you're going to do for my community. That's all I care about. And I don't care where you're from. If you are on the lines of helping us get this issue done and this issue done and this issue done, personal feelings ain't got nothing to do with it. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. And that's all that matters. Everybody need to get off their high horse thinking they're better than anybody. Some people need to stop being mad because somebody's doing better than them on YouTube and somebody's not doing better than them on YouTube, because I'm tempted to do that. I've seen Nico House and Jamal Thomas when I remember when them guys was under 1,000, and I'm communicating with them and seeing how I can help and things like that. Now them guys blew past me. I'm not mad at them. Jamal got a job doing this and getting paid for it. I'm still working a regular job. I can't get mad at them. I see Nico House got this great network growing. I'm not going to be mad at them. Tim Black was doing this well before me. He inspired me to do this, and he's going up in numbers. I'm seeing David Doole, who I'm not a fan of his show, he's almost at 500,000 now. Him and the Humanist Reports. Shows that sometimes I can get with, sometimes I can't. I care about my community, and I want my community to get all that they need, and I expect politicians to come to us and heed to those needs in order to get our support. Take our needs to the forefront of their message and pump it into the atmosphere in order to earn our vote. And if you can do that, you earn our vote. If you don't do it, don't get mad because you didn't earn our vote. Nina Turner's going to run again and she's going to win. If she show up and show out in the black community, blessing them, doing great by them, without the even thought of running for a race. You do that, and you encourage other people that you may run for office to be that person that's going to be at the forefront of leading just about every effort, or at least being part of every effort naturally grown in the community. When it comes time for them to run, black people are going to get out there and vote for them 75, 80% in votes, not 40 something, 50. And there's nothing that the black grassroots movement can do, or these old politicians, these old Negroes, there's nothing they can do, because you won the heart of the community. You stole their heart. And that's what you got to do. You got to steal the heart of the black community away from the Congressional Black Caucus, the powerful, oftentimes mother-like figure Marsha Fudge in that area, and a good person I can collaborate with the white influencers in that area, and Marsha Fudge. It's your job to get them off the treadmill and put them in a place in another environment. It's your job. It's not YouTubers' job. It's not the grassroots movement job. It's your job. And to you politicians, why don't you start your job today? Don't wait till you start running for office. You should be so entrenched in helping to fulfill the needs of your community that they inspire you to run for office. You didn't inspire yourself. Now, Nina Turner, a lot of people telling Nina Turner to run for office. The problem was most of those people were outside Ohio. Most of them. And again, when it comes to the black community, you can only talk black to them. You can't talk progressive, and you can't be having all these progressive giants going out for you, stuff like that. Start early. Start now. Get out there in the community and be a leader in the community, not outside community. I'm Robert Brown, Bobby with the Bobby Brown Show. Holla at you later. Or always remember this: go out there and make a mark on this world that cannot be erased. And if you have not done that, do it before the sun go down. Good night, good day, whatever. Peace.